When assessing the value of an apartment building in South Dakota, what weight, if any, should be given to the property's actual income stream and expenses by a county assessor? That was the question in the case of the assessor who ignored the lease. In this case, a company called Gadco was organized to construct a manufacturing plant in Yankton for building truck trailers. The trailer builder agreed to become a tenant under a 20-year lease in consideration of Yadco's construction of the plant. The plant was built at a cost of $950,000. Rent for the first 10 years was to be approximately $1.1 million and about $1 million for the second 10 years. The trailer builder agreed to pay property taxes for the leased property, but Yadco agreed to rebate taxes over $160,000. According to the testimony at trial, the lease was a very poor investment for Yadco because of low revenue and the obligation to rebate the taxes. The county assessed the property at $915,000, relying upon the cost approach to value, and compared reproduction cost per square foot to another comparable building. The assessor considered the income approach to value, but refused to use the taxpayer's actual income. In fact, the county assessor stated he ignored the lease which Yadco had made with the tenant. At trial, the taxpayer called an expert witness who evaluated the property by determining the actual net income and capitalizing it. The taxpayer urged that fair and true value should be the actual income the property actually received. That value is said to be $550,000. How would you decide this case? Should the county assessor use the taxpayer's actual income in assessing the property? We'll be back in a moment to answer that question. Should a property owner's actual income be used to determine true and full value for purposes of setting taxes on real property in South Dakota? No, said the South Dakota Supreme Court. In its 1975 decision in Yadco, the South Dakota Supreme Court found itself in step with what is now the majority of jurisdictions in the United States. South Dakota state statute says, all property shall be assessed at its true and full value in money. Cases hold that this is the amount a willing purchaser will pay a willing seller in an open market. The court ruled the county and the state should not be forced to bear the burden of increased taxation merely because a taxpayer, intentionally or through poor business judgment, has consummated a long-term, uneconomical lease. The court said, we have determined that our law requires the property in question to bear its full burden. A long-term artificial limitation of earning power by the taxpayer is not for this court to repair. Remember, it's a matter of law.